So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone had a really good Christmas. Happy New Year. So, today, whilst it's pretty dark and miserable outside, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about ERCA. So, I put up a post just before Christmas to say that we'd just had our audit to become an ERCA training body. So, some people might not actually know what ERCA is. So, I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking about that today so everyone's in the know. So ERCA stands for the European Ropes Course Association, um, and it is the only recognised high ropes and low ropes qualification that centres recognise. Okay, so some centres, if they want to deem their staff competent, they'll do some in-house training, and then they'll get a external expert, so maybe their technical advisor or somebody that holds a relevant qualification to come in and do a site-specific assessment, and that'll deem those staff competent at that site on those activities. So there's loads of different qualifications. If we take the high ropes instructor qualification, so you'll do a training and assessment following a syllabus, and then you can take that qualification to any site that's got a high ropes course within Europe. So there are loads of qualifications that ERCA have. So each training body can deliver specific qualifications depending on what their trainers are competent to deliver. So all that information is on the ERCA website. So there's a section on the website where you can look at all the different training bodies in the UK and see what they're able to deliver, what courses they can put on for you. So yeah, let's just run through some of the courses that are possible to undertake. So in terms of low ropes, so you can become an ERCA low ropes instructor. You can also become a temporary low ropes constructor, the high ropes course instructor. That covers accessing. You can also be qualified as a ground instructor. So that is basically the high ropes course instructor. So you can run all the elements, you just don't do the accessing. You've got the generic rescuer. Now that award is going to change within the next couple of months, but the generic rescuer it gives you a set of toolbox rescue skills that you can learn, you can take away to your site, and then you can apply those at your site. The reason that is changing is because there's loads of different ways that centres rescue from their courses. There's loads of different kits. There's lots of different methods to do it. So ERCA are trying to make the award a bit more specific, so it's easier to recognise what someone's been trained to do. You can then be an adventure park instructor. So that is things like our continuous belay courses. And then you can be a site-specific instructor and a site-specific rescuer as well. To run the ERCA courses, you need to be an ERCA trainer. So how you become an ERCA trainer is that you hold an instructor award and a rescue qualification, and you need to have substantial experience of using that and working at centres. Once you've got all that experience and those qualifications, you can apply to ERCA to become a trainer. So you have to go on a training, like a 2-day training course, where they will teach you through the syllabus of ERCA, and then you'll look at different methods of training and coaching and mentoring, and then you'll go for an assessment. So as part of the assessment, you'll have to then deliver a variety of topics to the other candidates and potentially a real group, and then you'll get assessed on some of the rescue scenarios to deem your competence there as well. A trainer can only deliver the ERCA awards through a training body. So, as I said before, we are in that process, but there are others in the UK that can use as well. And there's loads in Europe, Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, all sorts of places like that. All of the ERCA qualifications have prerequisites, so you have to meet a certain criteria before you can go on the course. As an example, the high ropes instructor qualification course, you need to have at least 1 day's experience to go on that. That's typically a 5-day course. ERCA do give training bodies guidance on the minimum time that these courses should run for, but most providers will run that for a sort of 4 or 5 day course. If you've got substantial experience, you can attend a conversion course. So you can attend a conversion course in either any one of the instructor awards, so whether that's low ropes, high ropes, adventure park, and in the rescue award as well. So if you've been working at a centre for 4 or 5 years and you've been signed off by a technical expert all of those years, you've been running all different high ropes elements, low ropes, and you're a in-house rescuer as well, you've got a big bank of knowledge, and you could then go on a conversion course. And what will happen on a conversion course is it's basically it's a bit like a workshop. So you'll run through the syllabus with the trainer, making sure all of the syllabus is covered that we need to. And there's certain things within that we have to do. And then there'll be some formal assessment at the end of it. So all of the awards have an assessment. So that's theoretical paper and a practical assessment. So the theory paper is a multiple choice paper. So there will be 20 questions. You've got to get at least 75% right. And then there'll be a practical assessment as well. Most courses will have an element of ongoing assessment. For example, when we're looking at our high ropes instructor, you'll be taught accessing. So there will be an element of ongoing assessment as part of that, so that when you get to your then assessment on that, the trainer has got some confidence in you that you can actually competently do it. So what we don't want to do is set people up to fail. So if you haven't quite got the fundamental skills and you're not quite competent and confident at doing it, you might not get to go forward with that part of the assessment. And then in that scenario, you might get like a ground instructor, for example. All of the ERCA awards are valid for 3 years, and you can go and do a refresher. The refreshers are really good because if you've got a instructor and a rescuer award or a trainer, so as a trainer, I've got my instructor and rescuer. So if I went on a refresher, and as long as I cover the relevant topics, it would refresh all of my qualifications. So I don't have to do an instructor refresher and a rescue and a trainer refresher. As long as my refresher course covered those relevant topics, it would refresh all 3, and then they'd be valid for another 3 years. So ERCA have got a little clause which was really good during COVID times. So you can undertake a refresher anytime within that 3 years, but you also get a year's grace period. So in theory, you can go on a refresher course up to 4 years after your first training course. If you go past the 4th year, you won't be able to attend a refresher, and then you'll need to go back onto a proper course. Now that could be a conversion course because you've already got the prerequisites, you've just let the dates lapse. But yeah, that's something to bear in mind. And the certificate will have your date on it as well, so you can keep a record of that there. It's also worth noting, as a trainer, you need to do CPD. So as part of your train the trainer training and assessment, you'll be talked through the CPD policy, and then that's up to you once you pass as a trainer to keep a log of that and submit that evidence to ERCA. And that just proves currency, that you're actually using your award, and you're not going to have any skill fade because you're not using it. One thing with the ERCA qualifications, it's important to remember that you won't just be able to move to a different site and start running sessions. So you will have to go through a process of site orientation, maybe some training, just because every different centre and every different site has got its own tweaks and little ways of doing things, which will be detailed in their standard operating procedures, so SOPs. So yeah, don't just expect that once you've got an ERCA qualification, you'll be able to go straight in and just start running activities. And that's the same for the rescue award as well. That will give you basic skills and tools that you will then need further site training and site orientation on their methods and their practices when it comes to performing their rescues. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you do have any questions, feel free to give us a shout, give us a comment. Please make sure you like, share and follow and all that good stuff. And yeah, keep an eye out for our future ERCA dates for courses that we might be running. Thanks very much.